So, hey y'all. Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's breakfast. My name is Casey Starlong, and if this is your first time watching one of my videos, I want to welcome you. So, what I try to do most days is I share a word from the Lord, and I call it today's breakfast because breakfast is supposed to be the most important meal of the day. And I don't know about you, but I love to just have, a breakfast that is just fueled with the Word of God. And so I'm just glad that you joined me. And so I'm going to hop right into it. So I'm titling this message, Sitting on Top of Money. That's right. If you can just imagine what it may be like that you could potentially be sitting on top of money. You could be sitting on top of an idea that can pay you. You can be sitting on a gift that will reward you and bless your family and also bless others, but you don't even recognize it. You're just sitting on top of it. It's like a hen sitting on top of an egg, does not even really realize the value of the egg. I went out running this morning, and I want to give a shout out to Tracy. If Tracy ends up watching this video, I probably will tag her. But as we were running this morning in the cold, and so I just started recently running with this group, and many of the runners, their endurance is so much better than mine. Like, they talk and run. And so a lot of times I'm like, I'm like, oh, because I'm using all of my energy to just like run. But Tracy was sharing how she's doing puzzles in this season, and she said something that was so prolific that I wanted to share. She said sometimes when she's working on a puzzle, the piece that she needs is already on her hand. So if you can imagine when you are doing a puzzle, you're moving the pieces, all around. And she said, sometimes the piece that I need, the piece that I am looking for, my hand is already on it. And y'all, when she said that, I began to think about how a lot of times some of the things that we're looking for, we already have it. It's already in us. God has already given it to us, but yet we don't even really realize that our hand is on it or that we are sitting on top of the answer that we are asking God to bring to us. I remember before I started the Sow Hope Community Sewing Room, I was just sewing for myself. It was just a gift. It was just really a hobby. It was just something that I enjoy doing. And if I made something that I was especially proud of, I would post it on Facebook for y'all to see. And so many of you guys were encouraging, and people were like, oh, that's beautiful, or oh, wow, you did that. I wish that I can sew. And then there were always some people that would inbox me and say, will you teach me how to sew? I've been wanting to learn. Will you teach me how to sew? And y'all, for so long, for years, I would say, oh no, I don't teach people how to sew. Oh no, I can't do that. No, I don't want to do that. And people were like, I will pay you. I'll pay good money if you will teach me. But I was like, no, I don't want to teach people. This is just something that I enjoy. It's just a hobby for me. I don't want to get into teaching. But also at the same time, I'm asking God, I'm like, God, I need some money. God, I need you to enlarge my territory. God, I want to be able to sow and I want to be able to give more. But honestly, you guys, I was looking for God to just increase or increase my paycheck, increase my salary. I was looking for, because I was working at the time, I was looking for, God to bless me in other ways. But I didn't realize that I was really sitting on my gift, that I was sitting on my destiny, that even though I was enjoying the gift of sewing, God's plan was so much bigger than just it being something that I just enjoyed. So I want to ask you, what are you sitting on? I came across a Facebook post and it was so convicting because the Facebook post, it said something like this, and I'm just paraphrasing it. But the Facebook post said, you're missing out on money, you're missing out on increase, you're missing out on the ability to be able to expand others because you may not necessarily like to do what people need. And I was reminded of my husband and I, we watched a documentary about Berry Gordy. And Berry Gordy shared that before he opened up Motown, he had a record store that just sold jazz records. He did not want to get into kind of like the, I guess maybe stereotypical black music at the time. He wanted to sell jazz records. But people didn't want that. They wanted what they wanted. And so his jazz store, it ended up not being successful. And then ultimately he opened up Motown to give, people what they wanted. And I think a lot of times, maybe, I know for me, I was like, well, I don't want to teach people how to sew. No, that's not really what I want to do. I want to do X, Y, and Z. But yet people are knocking down my door saying, hey, can you teach me how to sew? And so sometimes we might, just kind of get in our feelings for whatever reason. And I think if I really kind of unpacked about why I was hesitant to teach people initially how to sew, it was fear. It was insecurity, me thinking that, well, I don't know everything about sewing. And so what about if I get to a point where I can't help somebody, or I don't know it all? I don't feel good enough about myself and about my skill to be able to teach people. So because of that, I'm just going to tell people no. So if I get really all the way down to the root of it, it really was fear. And so I found myself just really sitting on my gift that, well, I feel comfortable with, just me sewing, but not necessarily helping other people sew. And you guys, if I would have just stayed comfortable sitting on my gift, Sew Hope wouldn't have been open. We wouldn't be able to serve the hundreds of people that come through our doors each year. We wouldn't have a sewing apprenticeship program for men and women that are coming out of prison, where we're teaching them job training and employment skills through sewing. Had I just been sitting on the gift, God wouldn't be moving as greatly as he is now. And so I just want to encourage you, what is it that you're sitting on? What is it that people are asking you to do, but for whatever reason, maybe you find yourself just hesitant? Are you a great baker? Are people always asking like, hey, can you make this cake? Can you make this pie for me? And are you being reluctant? Are you being stubborn? No, I don't really want to do that. But there's a demand for your gift. And so I just pray that, this message will just resonate with you. Like Tracy said, sometimes, as she's working on that puzzle, the piece that she needs, her hand is already on it. And maybe you've been praying to God and it's like, God, I need you to open up this door, or God, I need you to connect me with the right person. And, maybe really what you need it's already in you. Yesterday, this gentleman came to Sew Hope, and he could not speak English. He had a young girl with him and she could speak a little bit of English, but they used Google Translator. And so what he was doing is he was looking for a job. And somebody had donated to us an industrial sewing machine. And I normally work with domestic sewing machines. So we had this industrial sewing machine. I had somebody kind of look at it. I had two people look at this industrial machine and they were like, it's not working. Well, sometimes when people donate things to us, sometimes they don't work. So I'm like, oh man, we got this big old nice industrial sewing machine, but it doesn't work. Two people have looked at it. So this gentleman, he's speaking through Google Translator. So he speaks into the phone and then the phone translates it. Then I have to read it. And then I speak into the phone in English and it translates the message to him in Spanish. So we're doing this conversation, and then I asked him, because he tells me like he's a great sewer, that he's a sewing teacher. And but the thing is, he can't speak English. So he's looking at the industrial machine. And so through Google Translator, I tell him, I say, you know what, this machine, something's wrong with the tension. Can you look at it? Y'all, in 3 minutes, that man, he had that machine working. It stitched beautifully. Now, here's the thing, though, because I'm like, I need a sewing teacher. I need somebody that can, that feels really comfortable using industrial sewing machines, but he can't speak English. But I'm asking God because he may be the piece to the puzzle that I need, and I can't allow just a barrier of English to get in the way. One of the young ladies, she actually is from St. Louis. She came from LA, and she was there, and she said, you know what, Casey, in LA, we always had people who sewed, but they couldn't speak English. She was like, we would make the sample, we would show them how we made the sample, and then they would sew it. And so I'm just thinking, maybe a couple of years ago, I would be like, you know what, well, he can't speak English, so I really don't know what to do with him. But now I'm thinking outside of the box because I got the pieces of the puzzle, they're all in front of me. And I'm like, I need somebody that knows how to use an industrial sewing machine. He has sewing experience. He's probably a great sewer. The only barrier right now is that he can't speak English, but can he understand English? If I show him what I need him to sew, is he able to do that? And so, sometimes I think like as an entrepreneur, we find ourselves in these situations where we just got to be able to start thinking outside of the box. So I have kept his number and I'm praying about it, because I believe that everybody that God sends through the doors of So Hope, they can help us advance our mission. And I don't want to just say, well, they can't speak English, so they can't help. But maybe there's a part of maybe they're a piece of the puzzle that can help us advance our mission. So you guys, I don't want to sit on any gift. I don't want to sit on any talent. I don't want to sit on any skill. I don't want to sit on any resource that God may bring to help us do what God has called us to do. So I'm sharing this with you today. That, like Tracy said, sometimes when we're putting the pieces of the puzzle together, our hand is already on the piece. So I'm asking God to just reveal to you what is it that you need, and for God to show you if you already have it. If the person that you need is already, right in your circle of influence, and maybe you just have kind of overlooked them because you thought that the package would look differently, but really on the inside, they have exactly what you need. So you guys, this is the breakfast for today. I pray that it encourages you, okay? I pray that you have a great rest of the day, and I look forward to joining you within the next couple of days with some more encouraging breakfast, all right? Okay, guys, let's eat. All right, see you next time. Bye.